So good morning from innerFLOW. Anita here. Welcome. So this session came to me this morning as I entered into my home office, which is where you see me sitting now. And as Monday morning, 1st of June arrives, what's coming to my awareness is the week ahead and the working week. And with that, some of the intentionality, the purpose, and what are my priorities that I'm going to choose consciously this week to work on. What am I just going to open up the field to allow to flow? And with that came the prompting for a practice, call it a little model that I was given about 2 years ago, and I call it the AAA. And the offering to you this morning is just to bring to your consciousness and attention this AAA, which I'll unpack in a moment, and that it may be of benefit and use as a tool to practice and have access to in your own lives. And this for me is part of the innerFLOW work, is how do we bring the sense of spirituality, which is a big word and loaded for some, but the more etheric concepts, themes in life where we may feel we are directed, guided by an energy, a different way of being, looking, feeling in the world. We might be guided by certain forces, powers, things in the unseen realm. Sometimes it comes through dream, through our unconscious material, whatever it is, perhaps your belief system, if you pray or you meditate on a particular deity, form, aspect of your relationship to God, whatever that means for you, that highly personal relationship that you have. And it may just be with what you might refer to as your higher self, getting in touch with your higher self and accessing that energy, that wisdom that's always available in that field. And how do we bring this into the world in a very practical way that has relevance and usefulness for ourselves, and then for others in the we space, in the interpersonal space where we connect with others in the world in our day-to-day lives, whether it be our social life, our family life, our work life, the life that we have and how we interact with our communities around us. And then how does that then start to affect and have impact and influence, perhaps not so noticeably at first, but we have the sense of this global connection. And that actually the things that we choose at a deeply personal level for ourselves, and that we may be conscious of or not conscious of, actually all end up in this ever-moving, ever-changing field of energy. And we are part and parcel of contributing as well as receiving the energy from others and the world at large. And we can only give testimony to this time during the lockdown, during this time of this planet actually being aware of how its impact is on a planetary scale, as well as down to each individual and how it's affecting us individually in our lives. So back to the AAA. The AAA, the first A is awareness. And cultivating that awareness so that from the unconscious we can move into the conscious. What were we not previously aware of that we are now aware of? And we're going to enter into just a guided, quietening, centering, presencing practice. Call it a guided meditation if you wish. The words are not important, they're just labels pointing to something, where we'll reflect on that. The second A is alignment or agreement. And the third A is action. Now, when I look back at my life, and stillness catches me sometimes. I'm all too quick, very often, to jump into action, especially when I am deeply motivated or inspired by something in the moment, and or I'm chasing a desire. I'm desirous of something, or I have an aversion to something. So there might be something that I'm wanting to avoid, coming from a place of fear. So that's a whole other session to unpack. But what this divine guidance through the triple A's has given me is this ability to go step by step before I proceed into action. So coming into the space now, let's begin this practice together. And you can just experiment and see what comes up for you as you sit in your own space for the next 5 minutes as we take a look at these triple A's. So I invite you to find just a comfortable space wherever you are right now. Watching or listening to this may be perfectly adequate. You may wish to shift and go to a quieter, more private space in your home where you feel comfortable, and that you can then explore and take these 5 minutes for yourself. So whatever it is, and you may want to pause the video even just while you go and find that place for yourself. So coming to a comfortable place, whether it's lying down, seated, just start to close your eyes and go inwards. And for the next 5 minutes, we're going to focus on each of the A's in turn. I'm going to set a timer, and at the end of 5 minutes, we'll come out of this together. So first of all, bringing your awareness, the first of the A's, to right here, right now, noticing, and at the same time not needing to change anything, just pure awareness, noticing, tuning in to what's going on for you right now. Let's take a look at, there may be thoughts running around in your head. There may be an inner conversation going on. There may be things that are distracting you in your mind. Just noticing them, imagining them like clouds passing by on a blue sky. Those clouds you can see come in thought. Those thoughts pass through and then they disappear and the blue sky opens up again. There may be an emotional quality. There may be feelings that are calling your attention. Whatever they are, just notice that they're there. You can name them to yourself if you wish. You can even say them out loud. For example, I'm holding some anxiety right now. So you may be feeling anxious, noting that. Allowing it its space in this particular moment in time, in this present moment, just bringing awareness to whatever it is that's there. There could be things competing for your attention, wanting to bubble up to the surface. There could be things shouting loudly at you from the inside, wanting you to listen. Notice them. They're there. They're here for a particular reason. And maybe they just need your acknowledgement in this state of pure awareness. As you watch them, you see them, you observe them. And then noticing any quality of sensation that could be occurring. And it's quite useful in this instance to tune into your body. Notice any sensations that could be there for you, beginning with basic things like warmth, heat, cold, pain, stiffness, fatigue, tingling, numbness, whatever those things are. Noticing even your body as it is seated or lying down, And when it comes into contact with the surface that it's sitting on or being placed on at this point, just noticing the sensations, bringing awareness to that. Allowing the mind to focus on the immediacy of this present moment. And then bringing the awareness to your immediate surrounds, the room or the environment in which you find yourself listening. Even with your eyes closed, you can prod, sense, feel, intuit, imagine into the space in your mind's eye that you are locating yourself in at this point in time. Just being aware of your environment. This environment here for me is home office. And that could conjure up a whole bunch of associations for you. Just notice if anything comes up in relation to your environment, what those things are. You don't need to inquire further into them. Just notice, bring the awareness there. Observe. After all, we have this relationship, the inner and the outer. There's always this dance between the two, the internal and the external. Just noticing that, what it looks like and feels like for you in this moment. And with this awareness, we start to realize, it comes to our attention that then we have choice. As things come into the conscious waking awareness, for example, that timer, that 5 minutes is up. The choice in this moment of awareness is, do we continue? Do we stop because the time is up? What do? We have choice in this moment. So my choice in this moment is to continue. And I'd like to move now into the next of the A's, alignment or agreement. So once we become aware with consciousness, with this alertness, this awakefulness inside us, we then start to notice what may feel in alignment or out of alignment in the current moment. So it could be applied in an instance where there's a particular topic or theme or decision that you're needing to make. I use the example of the beginning of the week, the beginning of a month, a Monday. This morning in particular, quite significant here in South Africa as the country is now in its next phase of lockdown, level 3. And this could bring up different things for different people, depending on your circumstance and context. It could be business as usual for some, it could be big changes for others. Whatever it is for you, just start to notice into, do you experience yourself being in alignment with whatever the event, situation, feeling, choice or decision that you might need to be making is? And if not, you might start to question, ponder, reflect, or think about, or get curious about. So if you were to be in alignment moving forwards, what is it going to need from you? Is it something internal that you may need to shift or accept or adapt to or allow, or something else, a different choice? And how do you get to that place where you feel in agreement with both your inner world and your outer world? And by that, it could be forming an agreement with yourself that you feel in alignment with the choices that you are needing to make or are about to make. And there could be a place where you are needing to get into agreement with others before you take any decisive actions or next steps. It could be reprioritizing things. Whatever it is that comes up for you, just take a moment to explore and consider the what of alignment that might need to change or shift, if anything. And with whom, if it is beyond just with yourself. And then we move into the next A, the A of action. So once we've taken into consideration what's come into our awareness, there could be an expanded awareness that has been generated as a result of taking this time to sit with and take a look at the event situation. You've come to understand there is either alignment or there might be things that need to be changed, shifted, tweaked, or entirely revisited. There may be others that need to come into consideration into the picture. So this action, this A, involves now this accumulation of this new knowledge, this new being informed through our body, through our wisdom, through our feelings, through our intellect, our mental capacities. And with the A comes a level of discrimination and discernment. Because as we are conscious about actions that we're about to take and choices we're about to make and start moving forwards with and engaging in the world in a particular way, with this new conscious awareness that has come, so it comes with it responsibility. Because as we are becoming awake and are awakening, we can no longer move forwards in an unconscious way. There's a responsibility that comes with this awakening, with this being conscious about our decisions. As we are more and more informed and have more of a 360-degree view to the best of our capacity to take actions, we're aware that they don't just impact us, but they impact others around us. They involve others around us that could have unintended consequences if we don't act in a mindful way. And further afield, it all collects into the contribution that we're making on the planet. So however big or small your actions are, being mindful of this gives us a great tool to be able to navigate with consciousness the right actions to take. And this process could take a while. We're just spending a couple of minutes here exploring it as an initial model. But I'm sure you get the feeling and the sense that it goes quite deep and many different considerations can come up for you in the process. So I encourage you to play with the A's. Find your way through them, see what works for you, see what comes up for you. So closing off, we're mindful now that our eyes are closed and we're going to be returning to our day. And just with that gentle awareness, just bringing your eyes gently forwards and open. The gaze soft. Bringing yourself back into the space in which you're occupying at the moment. Grounding yourself in the location. And thank you for taking this time to play with me in the triple A.